Okay, it's Sunday again, and we've got another game. It's me doing the introductions today, as Ollie's phone decided to take a swim, and it's alas not working. So I'll be the MC for the day. My army is pretty much unchanged from last week, and the week before that. My opponent is going to be different. It's 3,000 points, High Elves versus Dwarfs. So it's a classic lineup. I'll tell you now, I haven't been a dirty fucker and taken the cloak that means dwarves tend to look like they might lose. Well, other than it causes fear in dwarves and also makes dwarves hate you.
You should take that.
and it screws over all magical mounts and weapons and stuff like that. So I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think you've got any magic weapons actually. Fair enough.
So I'll run you through my list. I have a unit of 5 Elven Reavers, a unit of 10 archers. Another unit of 10 archers, a unit of 17 Silverhelms with a noble, a Loathen Skycutter chariot, 28 White Lions of Krace with my level 4 wizard and a BSB, which is a Loathen Sea Helm. I have a Great Eagle, a Frostheart Phoenix, a unit of 24 Phoenix Guard with a level 2 Mage in. I have another unit of 5 Reavers, another unit of 10 Archers, and another Great Eagle. We're playing the Battle Line mission, and Ollie deployed first and won the dice roll. So we'll now get him to take you through his list.
Okay, like Si said, it's the Dwarf army this time. So I'll run you through the list. We have a Bolt Thrower with nothing, 10 Thunderers with nothing, an Organ Gun that's been entrenched by the Engineer. We've got 29 Longbeards with shields, a cannon, the BSB, tricked out loads of runes. We've got 30 Hammerers, full command, a Grudge Thrower with all the usual goodies, a cannon with usual goodies, another Grudge Thrower with slightly less runes than this one, but just as good, 25 Warriors, full command, 10 Thunderers with nothing, and then my Rune Lord on an Anvil of Doom. And that's it. Unfortunately, I look quite outnumbered actually. Although I probably do have more guys than him, they just don't look as scary as his do. And as I found out in the FAQ, all Dwarf runes count as magical, so that White Line unit's just going to steamroller me and that'll be that. So, so that's it. See you at the end of Dwarf Turn 1, as he won the roll. So. Okay, it's the end of Dwarves Turn 1. For movement, I move the Thunderers into the building. That'll probably be the only movement I make, other than failing charges. Went straight to the shooting phase. So, first up, obviously the Organ Gun can't shoot because it's out of range. These guys moved, and these guys are out of range as well. So I fired my cannon at his Phoenix, and actually failed to wound it, although I hit it. My other cannon fired at his chariot, was a bit short but still hit some white lines. Obviously it's magical, which is the FAQ, and he has a banner of the World Dragon, so that did nothing. This Grudge Thrower hit the Silverhelms, I think killed 4 of them. My other Grudge Thrower fired at the Silverhelms, and I re-rolled the Scatter, still failed to hit, and then used the Engineer, or vice versa, to re-roll the other one, which was really stupid because I rolled a 6, and then I re-rolled it to a misfire, and of course I rolled a 1 and it blew up, so that was really dumb. So the Anvil, used it to reduce the movement of the White Lions, buy me a bit of time, and then as an afterthought, I remembered to fire this, fired at the Silverhounds and killed 4 of them. So that was excellent. So screw runes. I'm just gonna put just a Barry basic war machines. I think it's 45 point bolt thrower. I did more than 155 point grudge thrower. So yeah, so it's the end of my turn 1, and sort of blow losing the grudge thrower, but did kill quite a few knights. So hand you over to Cypher at the end of his turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of half turn 1, and I'm trying very hard to compete with Ollie for who can have the worst first turn. I think I'm winning. Everyone moved up, so as you can see. Just advance forward. Then I rolled magic, and I rolled 11, which was great. No channels. So with the Dwarves Master Rune of Balance and the number of dispel dice they get from the Rune Lords and stuff, we both sat at 10 dice each. First spell I cast was Hand of Glory, which I managed to increase the white lines is movement, weapon skill, ballistic skill and initiative, all by Mighty 3. My main reason for doing that was not because I thought they needed combat buffs, but mainly for their movement. But I thought, well, if I can increase their weapon skill and stuff, then, you know, well, should some mysterious happenstance occur that Ollie does decide to charge, then, yeah, you know, he'll have a harder time hitting me. So, that's mainly to try and counter at least some of the problems caused by the anvil. Although they're that far ahead, because then in the magic phase I cast Walk Between the Worlds, just the normal version, on 3 dice. Ollie stuck 4 onto it and rolled so low it could almost be me rolling. Yeah, really low. So that got off, and they duly advanced 10 inches. So a total of 15 moved this turn, which is great. Which is 5 more than they'd normally be allowed. Then what else happened? Then the piece de resistance. As you can see, this unit no longer contains a mage, and that was with the other 4 dice. I thought, well, you know, I'll try a fiery convocation and see what happens. And I targeted his unit of dwarves in the centre. And the hammers, and I got on 4 dice, was it 3 6s and a 4, which was terrible, because then I rolled a dimensional cascade and promptly killed 12 of my guys and sucked my wizard into the warp. And unfortunately, the detonation caused by that is not magical. There is nowhere in that book that says it is magical. So it is just a normal explosion caused by magic. So
just make that banner of World Dragon even more bullshit.
yeah. So the banner did not save them 1 iota. Although I managed to save a couple of guys thanks to the spell actually going off. So I did actually have a 6-up ward. My wizard, he did pass his ward save, being a mighty 3-up. However, he got sucked into the void, so he's now getting taken out to dinner by Slanesh before going home back to Slanesh's to be touched in places best left to sages and wise men. Having now lost my most potent magical support and being left with a level 2 that's got about as much chance of casting the spell as an Empire Halberdier. We decided to move on to the shooting phase, where I killed a grand total of nothing. I should say the fiery convocation, when it resolved, I did manage to kill 10 guys. Unfortunately, being sucked into the warp, it then decayed straight away. So that was a bit of a shame, because that would have been really nice if that had stayed around. But yeah, alas, it wasn't.
My spell eater rune on it now.
Yeah, so with that, it's the end of a rather interesting High Elf turn 1, and it's now on to Dwarfs turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Dwarfs turn 2. The minus came in. I was going to do something really clever with them, but in the end I decided not to bother because I didn't really want to charge those Phoenix Guard. But, well, threaten them at least. Okay, so that was it for movement, other than shuffling these around a tiny little bit. Just put these flush with each other should he charge in. Have to fight both units. And he cunningly whittles down his unit a bit more so they're not as wide. Right. So I went straight to the shooting phase. I was going to fire the Thunderers at these guys, but decided to just write off the bolt thrower. So I fired them at the Eagle, and they all missed, apart from one of them, who then failed to wound. So the bolt thrower missed. The grudge thrower missed the Eagle, the Phoenix, firing indirectly. This cannon sniped out one of the Eagles, which was nice. These Thunderers killed the Reavers. The other cannon sniped out the other Eagle. And this rolled a 2, but I used its reroll and got a 10. So, and actually killed 7 of these guys. So that was excellent. Cannot fault that at all. So yeah, and then I used the anvil to halve their movement. So yeah, brilliant. More than happy with that. So this unit's been significantly whittled down now. I've almost done as many wounds to it as size. So you know, keeping up there. So let's see what can happen in size next turn. On the plus side, I don't think he can hurt this unit anymore because the wizard's dead. So
Certainly try that.
yeah, I'm sure we'll find a way. So it's the end of Dwarfs turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of High Elf turn 2. The Reavers charged the Bolt Thrower. These two units shot and killed 2 guys in the building. Everyone else just sort of moved up a bit. And then this unit here just shot at the miners and killed 3 of them. Magic phase, as expected, there's a total write-off. They're getting 4 dice and Ollie getting 7. Yeah. So be interesting to see how they deal with Dwarves anti-magic in their next edition.
Yeah,
Be a challenge to get something fair. So yeah. That was pretty much it really, a very short and not quite sweet go. So yeah, it's now on to Dwarves turn 3.
Okay, it's ended Dwarfs turn 3. Thought I'd mix up the game a bit and do some charging. Charge these guys into the Silver Helms, he held. Charge these guys into the Swordmasters, he held. Charge the Warriors into these guys, he held. Then full movement. Don't think I did anything. I'll move the miners up. And then also my magic phase and then shooting. I fired the grudge thrower at the Phoenix and he passed his ward. Then I fired the cannon at it and killed it. I fired the other cannon at his chariot and managed to do a wound to it. I fired the volley gun, the organ gun at his white lions. I managed to kill I think 4 of them, so there's only that many left now. I fired the Thunderers. I fired the Thunderers at his chariot and did that wound to him. I'm not sure what I fired the other cannon at. Probably something. I definitely fired it, but I just can't remember at what. These guys fired at the white lions as well, killed a few more, so hence why there's so few of them left. And then the anvil attempted to use the its power to charge these into the flank of these guys, who are obviously fighting the warriors. Then I rolled a 1, so it failed, and then I rolled a 1 and it blew up. So I'm about 429 points down because of that, which was nice. Which of course screwed over the Warriors, and they got chopped up by the Phoenix Guard, which was pretty bad. So now I've got that, and it's his turn, so that's bad. So that was horrendous, actually. The Longbeards managed to see off the Silver Helms, killing quite a few of them, and him only killing one in return. So that was really good. Obviously, these guys failed their charge, so that's why I shot these guys. And over here, I actually won the combat. I killed one of him, and he killed none of mine. So I'm holding there. So that was good. Yeah. So if it wasn't for the anvil blowing up, I'd be in a pretty good position right now. But it did, so I'm not. So it'll be Sly's turn coming up. I believe he's making some tea at the moment, so it's not all so bad. So
okay, it's the end of High Elves turn 4, and the wind is blowing. Basically, I charged the Phoenix Guards into the Hammerers. Then I reformed my Silver Helms. I tried to charge the Skycutter Chariot and the remainder of the White Lions into the Organ Gun. Alas, failed all the charges. It was just too far out of range. Yeah, magic didn't happen, obviously, because I rolled I rolled a 6 and a 1, so there was no way I was going to risk detonating my wizard just for a hand of glory. And yeah, that was pretty much it, really. Then in the close combat, I managed to almost kill a guy over there, so it was a draw, because Ollie made his t-shirt save. Then over here, I managed to kill 9 hammerers, but they were stubborn. Over here, I killed another miner. And then managed to kill another guy in there. So yeah, we're shooting from these two. So not a bad phase. So yeah, it's now on to Dwarves' next turn.
okay, it's in the Dwarves' turn 4, and so we're thinning out the units now. So movement-wise, I reformed these guys, or swift reform them, and turned them around and started marching them this way, deciding that I would rather shoot at the Silver Helms, just because he'd probably flee anyway and leave me in no man's land. So, and I need this unit to come save me from these horrible Phoenix Guard who are chopping my guys up. The Dwarves miners moved up. They were going to attempt a cheeky charge, but unfortunately they were 16 away, and the most I could charge is 15. So that wasn't going to happen, so I just moved them up. Obviously if I still had the anvil, probably could have tried to charge, but I don't, because it blew itself up. Which I'm still very bitter about. Okay, but it's new model syndrome, so that's fine. Okay, so that was movement. Then the shooting phase, this is when it all happened, really. So these guys, they fired at the chariot, managed to do a wound to it. These guys over here fired at the Silver Helms and actually killed 4 of them, which was amazing considering there's only 7 guys there. Like Si said, the more of these he kills, the more dangerous they become. Then this cannon fired at its chariot, killed it. This cannon sniped his BSB. This organ gun killed some more Silver Helms, reducing it just the noble with only 1 wound left. Then the bludge fire fired at the... What did he fire at? Him, yeah. If I was to kill him, I think it scoured off, didn't it? Yeah. So that was it for that. I think that was all for shooting. Oh, yeah, and then close combat. I managed to kill 4 more hammerers. I managed to do nothing to him, but I'm stubborn. And I managed to pass it, thankfully. Then this combat over here, I actually won by killing another one. So this bolt thrower is doing incredible things. It's just a shame it's not over here, saving me from Phoenix Guard. So I probably would have charged it in by now. That's how desperate I am. But yeah, these Phoenix Guard are a problem. And that was it. So it's the end of my turn 4, and it's not quite the game I thought it was going to be a couple of turns ago, where I thought I was whitewashing him. Now it's looking pretty bad. Those Phoenix Guard are quite scary, so just see what happens in size turn 4.
Okay, it's the end of High Elves turn 4. Not too much happened. I charged the remainder of the White Lions and the Noble into the organ gun, killing 2 of the crew with 5 attacks, needing 3s to hit, 2s to wound. You'd think, but of course not. Then miscellaneous shooting accounted for 2 Dwarfs. Close combat over there, I lost another guy. Over here, I managed to kill several more the hammerers, finally break them, and then overrun just enough to set up a beautiful flank charge. As per usual, only needed to roll average to catch them and like accept a very nice charge in the front, which would have given me a good chance. But no, probability doesn't work like that for me. Although to be fair, this game has been fucking crazed. So yeah, I rolled like an 11 for the overrun distance.
Also, me finding my stud on was pretty harsh.
Yeah. So sort of still locked in. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's now on to magic. I rolled a double 6 for the magic phase. So that was never going to happen. So yeah, and I lost my wizard in the combat anyway. He got slotted, which was probably a good thing. So yeah, it's now down to basically, it's Dwarfs turn 5 now.
Okay, it's in the Dwarves turn 5. I decided to capitalise on size overrun and charge these guys in. I did debate shooting them instead, but the reason that if he reformed, then he'd probably mess me up even if I'd killed half the unit with shooting. So it seemed like the best thing to do. I moved the miners up just to try and catch up with what's going on, and that was it for movement. Then I just started shooting stuff. So these guys were out of range, couldn't do anything. The grudge thrower fired over those archers, managed to kill 7 of them, and they held. This cannon and the other cannon both did a flank shot on the archers, so they're both in the flank. Managed to kill 1 guy.
To be fair, he killed 2 cannons.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So then this combat, they managed to kill the last dwarf crewman, who's I decided to name Gaston, although he's dead now. The fight over here, the bolt thrower lost again, only because he's got a musician. Obviously, giving the dwarves a headache, but they still held. So, and then this combat, I whiffed loads of my attacks, so I didn't. He killed 2 of mine. I killed 1 of his. But yeah, and unfortunately rolled a 3 because he was down by about 5. Basically needed a 3 or less, and he got a 3, so he held. Luckily, he couldn't reform though, so that was handy. So I might have another chance to get rid of this unit in his turn coming up, which is his turn 5. So we'll have to see how that goes. See you in turn 5.
Okay, it's the end of High Elves turn 5. Basically, my Noble and White Lions charged the cannon, chopped them up. Pillow fight over there still remains a draw, just because Ollie's innate dirtiness of being able to roll 6s when he needs to, which is the same story over here, and mainly over there as well. Because in the close combat phase, my Phoenix Guard basically just pegged it off the board. They bounced through the White Lions, and that was it really. So yeah, it's just a bit of a problem because that's basically the end. Because next turn, Ollie's going to clean up those White Lions and should clip that Noble, and that'll be the end of the game. So yeah. Well, it will in fact be the end of the game because there won't be many points left on the excuse me, the battlefield. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So yeah, we'll round it off in Dwarfs turn 6. Okay, it's the basically the end of the game. It was Dwarf turn 6, but we decided to expedite it by basically like my guys would just do flea reaction for when his big unit of hammerers was charging my my noble and my white lions. So yeah, basically they were off the board. They were destroyed anyway, really. The only other thing was, could he grudge throw my little unit there, which he managed to get another 100 points. So basically, with killing my general as well, with me killing my general, and Ollie killing his, Ollie got 2,795. Because there's basically 305 points worth of elves on the board, but 100 plus 100 for the general, versus what was it, 70?
1,713.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good win for the dwarves. And when we worked it out, it was basically probably the overrun, the 11-inch overrun by the Phoenix Guard that probably teetered it in the balance. Because there was the Noble, the Phoenix Guard, and the White Lions was just about 1,000 points. So had the Phoenix Guard held for the rest of the battle, and then possibly me getting into some more artillery, it would have been a draw. And had I managed to beat that unit of hammerers, then it could have been a win. So it was pretty close right up until the end, even though there was that big kind of gap. That was sort of like last minute tidy up right at the end that did that. But that's just the crazy luck that we had in this game. Like me miscasting on the first bloody turn and blowing my wizard up, taking out half my unit, and then conversely Ollie then managing to blow his general up and. Just crazy stuff happened. But yeah, a very, very good game and pretty close, because yeah, I was thinking that the game probably wasn't going to last further than turn 3. And yeah, and in the end it was right up to the limit, because yeah, like I said, I think even had it not gone to had I not overrun, I think I probably would have chanced it out to my turn 6 to try and eke out any kind of win possible. But yeah, in the end it was good. It was very tough getting at those dwarves. The ability for the dwarves to really ruin the movement of the troops of like your best unit is pretty harsh to deal with.
I think that there is a lot of points.
That's it. I kind of wonder. I think, to be honest, there'll be stuff like that. The dwarves will be able to do stuff like that anyway in the next edition.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think they're going to remove like all of that kind of stuff totally. Probably the ability for them to make silly charges is going to disappear.
Yeah.
But I would
slowing down your opponent seems pretty reasonable. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of some kind of innate ability that Anvil has got. It'll work a bit like a Casket of Souls, but just with a similar mechanic. And I think there'll probably be a couple of different effects that will be a bit like spells, but won't be called spells. No, but yeah, I think it will just have an ability that will require some kind of dice roll, so maybe an artillery dice or something like that, to fit in with the dwarves' kind of artillery like nature. But yeah, other than that, I think it was pretty damn close in the end, which I was quite surprised at, because I would have thought that dwarves would have been the anathema of elves, being that elves have got to get in your face pretty quick to do the damage, and dwarves are very adept at sort of stopping that. So yeah, that was harsh to lose one of my best units so early on.
But whose fault was that?
Yes, a most impressive Because I think if I'd kept that fiery convocation going, that would have been lovely.
Yeah, it would have been the death of the hammer, isn't it? Probably.
Yeah, but you know that's the way.
Like I say, you blew your general up, I blew mine up. So.
Yeah, because obviously if Ollie still had his, then he would have easily been able to dominate the movement. Because even with
I could have got these hammers in a lot quicker.
Oh yes.
You'd have thought. I couldn't actually do anything.
And probably prevented me from being able to move because
miners, not hammers.
Yeah, and probably prevented me from moving other troops as well to support. So yeah, I mean, losing my silver helms as well was pretty harsh. They got pretty badly chopped up. I was hoping to be able to get them in and go hunting artillery.
I think that's really the name of the game with Dwarfs. Is you've got to kill as much as you possibly can, and then these kind of units can fight. If all three of yours got in full strength, I wouldn't stand a chance. Even half strength. If all three of them got in, then one charge from those silver helms would have ruined this unit.
Yeah, but it was close in the end. One thing I've been kind of toying with the idea of is maybe swapping out these archer units for Lothern Sea Guard. Because I've got 30 archers, and I'm thinking maybe a unit of Lothern Sea Guard might be a little more beneficial because they're just only a point per model more than these guys.
Yeah.
But they obviously
in one unit.
Yeah.
Like 24 Lothern Sea Guard.
Well, I could even take a horde of, or just 30 of them, because in a horde formation I can still fire all 30 shots. I can still put out a large number of attacks.
You could drop some of the silver helms because you've got 18, haven't you? 17.
Oh, sorry about the interruption. There's a phone call. About the possibility Ollie was saying of dropping some silver helms to afford that.
Yeah, I'd probably keep the unit still 15 strong because that's obviously the max amount of attacks you can get with them. You could just drop a couple of them to give you some more points with the Lothern Sea Guard. Yeah,
that's it. And considering I've got the models anyway, it'd be a nice use to them. Because it gives me options. Because obviously, if I decide to take Shadow Magic, they've got possibilities. Although, to be fair, just Elves on their own are going to be probably pretty good against most troops. Against a lot of other stuff that's sort of reasonably high toughness and that they're going to go down, but yeah, I think they're probably still better to have them than just archers alone.
Yeah, I guess in a way the little 10-man archer units are useful, but you have a lot of chaff anyway, so you don't necessarily need those as chaff, and you've got your chaff's quite good at killing other chaff anyway. The Reavers with the All Strikes first, and the Eagles are pretty tough. So you can deal with your chaff anyway. And like you said, the Lothern Sea Guard can still shoot something.
Yeah.
So, it's not a bad idea. And they're another threat on the board in terms of close combat as well.
Yeah.
So just ignore your archers, don't I?
Yeah, so I think probably I'll probably go for that then. Hopefully, I'm due a delivery, which I believe to be a large bulk of High Elves. So come next week, you might actually see some proper High Elf models on the board, more than probably about the 3 that are currently on here at the moment. So I'll be frenziedly putting stuff together, and and hopefully my army will start to take shape, and I may even fancy painting it. I'll hand you over to Ollie now, and he can have a chat about what he thinks of the battle.
Well, like I was saying, after say about turn 2, I thought I totally had it. He's wizard blowing his unit up, then me shooting him up. I thought it was in the bag. I could deal with that unit quite easily, and then just deal with the rest of his stuff. But it actually turned out to be a game that was pretty close in the end. We obviously analysed it down to certain points where the game changed, which of course would be his wizard blowing up, then my general blowing up, then him overrunning after me failing a stubborn test, because I wanted to hold the stubborn, so then I could charge my Longbeards in, and then my miners in the back. So failing that was a blow, but then it was counteracted by him overrunning too far, and then Lusk give me that really nice flank charge. So I mean, those are like the pivotal points of the game, but it actually turned out to be a really interesting game after that. The first couple of turns were just the kind of classic Dwarfs shoot you up, you lose, and that was it. But no, it was a really, really good game in the end. So it's nice to see that Dwarves. I like playing Dwarves, but I was a bit worried before because the few games we played before against Ogres, I've just destroyed those Ogres, and it just didn't really seem fair to play a massive gun line kind of thing. And then if you're not playing a gun line, then why bother playing Dwarves? So I like the fact I had so many pieces of artillery in that, and it still was a close game. So I think one of the games we played with these Ogres, I fired everything I had at his Bruiser BSB for most of the game, failed to kill him for most of the game, and then he got into my army and pretty much killed it all by himself. So that was quite fun. But yeah, so it was nice to play gun line, but still not feel bad about it. Like really, I was shooting him up pretty bad, but he's still putting the damage with the few things he got over it. So yeah, so I'm quite liking the list. One of the things I always find a bit weird with Dwarfs is the small units. Now, obviously, they're pretty tough, but against the more elite stuff like High Elves, they just seem to evaporate. I mean, those Hammerers, I know they got charged in the flank, but they just didn't do a lot. And the Warriors just evaporated. The original plan, obviously, being to get the miners into the flank using the anvil, which is when it blew up. And I think I could have won that combat, even though it would have taken quite a few casualties. It would have negated his steadfast, hopefully, and dealt with him that way. So one of the things I'm thinking about changing is just changing that small warrior block into probably like 40 of them or something, in horde formation, all the kind of usual cliches. But I mean, dwarf warriors are pretty good at fighting, but just 10 attacks just doesn't seem enough these days. But then I always like the hordes. But obviously, one of the downsides of that is just deployment. If you've got a big old unit sitting in your front, it's harder to get stuff around the side to flank it and stuff. So, but at least with the horde, you can just grind them out anyway. So you don't really need to worry about the flanking. So I'm not sure about that yet, but maybe I'll increase the amount of warriors in that unit. Maybe using horde, or just use them in the bus, just with more of them, because 25 just didn't seem to be enough. I mean, these guys are okay because they've obviously got a 4-up armour and a 6-up ward from the parry. But the Hammerers and the Warriors, the blocks just seem a bit too small for my liking. The Thunderers did really well in this game. They were killing stuff all over the place, especially these guys. They were holding off like 20 archers and still shooting at other stuff as well. So the Longbeards did pretty damn well. And obviously they got that amazing flank charge, which is probably the only reason they did really well. But they, they saw off the silver helms, then came back and killed the Phoenix Guard, so they're pretty pivotal. Hammerers did very little, but they did hold for 2 turns, which was nice. Those Warriors did absolutely nothing. Phoenix Guard just chewed them up. Miners didn't do anything in the end, but that's mainly because my general died and I couldn't use the anvil charge. The artillery did very little. The cannons actually did amazing, because they killed both the eagles with pinpoint accuracy, and they killed I think they killed the Phoenix, didn't they? So yes, the cannons did alright. The Grudge Flyers didn't do almost anything, except, the first one didn't because it just blew up. That was the Strength 5 one. Strength 4 one killed a few things but didn't do a lot. The Organ Gun did pretty amazing, so that was good. But I think really the honourable mention goes to the Bolt Thrower, who killed like 4 silver helms, got charged by these Reavers, and held them up for the whole game until it finally succumbed to them. So it was like a little bonus for Sai. Although he lost the game, he did kill that almost immortal Bolt Thrower, so that was nice for him. And I was gutted by that. That was probably the saddest moment of the game for me, when that Bolt Thrower went down on the last turn. I like the list. I'm going to fiddle with it a bit, maybe get some more warriors in there, just to make that unit a bit more durable. I can't afford to have a unit in my front line that's just going to evaporate and allow him to overrun past the other 2 units. Even with the anvil, which may allow me to charge them in the flank after reforming, it's just dangerous to have a unit that can die so quickly. So I just don't think 25 warriors is enough. If they're shields maybe, but not with just great weapons, they just evaporate. So that's my only kind of thing I'd change. I mean, in 2400, these kind of block sizes maybe not so bad, but in 3000 they just don't seem to be enough, because 28 white lines are scary. And literally the only reason that unit went down is because his wizard blew up. Because if he hadn't have done that, even with all my shooting, they still would have been quite a sizable chunk, and they would have torn through this lot. So yeah, so that's one of the things I'm going to fiddle with. Quite happy with the amount of artillery. I think more would be cheesy and annoying because I just get more misfires, but I want a fair amount because I like blowing things up with cannons and stuff. So yeah, so pretty good. Enjoyable game. I'm glad it was enjoyable, because I'd hate to just ruin Cy in the shooting phase in 2 turns and then him not want to play Dwarves again, play against them again. So I'm glad it was a lot closer than that. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Probably play Dwarves next week to see how they go. Have to see how I feel, but yeah, it's probably on the cards though. Yeah, so that's it, and we'll see you next week.